Hey friends, it's Mrs. Walker. For our lesson today, we're going to create our own inch ruler. No way. We're going to make our own inch ruler. We don't need to buy a ruler. We're going to make one. So our learning goal for today says I can create my own inch ruler. And we're actually going to measure with that. So I can also, our other learning goal says I can measure lengths using an inch ruler. So the materials that you'll need for this lesson is a 12-inch strip of paper. You'll need your dry erase board or a piece of paper, a 2-inch paper clip. If you don't have a paper clip, I'm going to actually model it in the lesson, but if you have one, that would be great. And then a 3x5 index card. Also, if you don't have that one, I'll model that during the lesson as well. And then we'll need a 1-inch tile. If you don't have a 1-inch tile, remember we can use a Lego piece that has 3 parts to it or a quarter. So make sure you have as much of those materials as you can before we get started. Otherwise, we'll be okay with whatever you have. All right, friends, so in our previous lesson, we used a 1-inch tile to measure the length of different objects, right? So we used over and over, we use that same tile. There's our inch tile. Today, we're going to create a tool that will help us measure inches in a more efficient way. Let's make an inch ruler today. So earlier in the year, we made centimeter rulers. Well, today we're moving up and measuring with larger units of an inch. So we're making an inch ruler. So here is my 12-inch strip of paper. So watch how I make my first hash mark on my ruler. So I'm going to take my tile that I have, and I'm going to draw a line at the very end. Okay, then I'm going to move my tile and label it a 1. Then I move my tile, mark it, label it 2. Move my tile, mark it, label it 3. Move my tile, mark it, label it 4. So it's move it, mark it, label it. So move it, mark it, label it. Move it, mark it, label it. Move it, mark it, label it. This is a fun game. All right, let's keep going. Move it, mark it, label it. 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 So, you're going to create your own ruler just like I did. And if it helps you, say, move it, mark it, label it as you're going through so you don't forget the steps. And you're just counting up as you go across from 1 to 12. Okay? So make sure that you don't leave any space or gaps between the tiles as you move along your strip of paper. So notice I moved it, I marked it, I labeled it, and then I moved it right where that other line was. There's no spaces or no gaps, okay? If we leave gaps or spaces, then our measurements will all be different. And we want all of our rulers to be the same. That's the point of having a ruler. Okay, so pause the video, you're going to make your own ruler, and then click play when you're ready for the next step. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. All right, so what does the number 1 mean on your ruler? Yeah, it's where the first length unit ends. So this part right here. What do we call this length unit that we're using? Yeah, it's an inch, right? We're not doing centimeters. That's an inch tile, so it's in inches. Where should 0 go on our rulers? It should go at the very beginning of the ruler. So right here. So we can mark and label that on your ruler. So pause the video, add 0 to your ruler now. All right, friends, awesome. So what does 0 mean? Yeah, it's where you start to measure, right? So when we actually put our little tile here at the edge of the ruler and marked the end of it with a hash mark, we actually measured 1 inch. Okay, so from 0 to 1 is 1 inch. Now, the only thing I want to caution you is, so for our ruler, we're pretty cool that we started right at the very end of the ruler as a 0. Now, sometimes when you look at rulers, they start in with a 0, just a teeny tiny bit. So make sure that you're definitely looking at where 0 is on the ruler that you're using, okay? If you're using one that's not one made by us, you need to make sure that you're looking and line the 0 up with wherever you're starting to measure. So what's the last number on your ruler? Yeah, 12. All right, so our ruler measures 12 what? What's that unit of measure? Inches. Our ruler measures 12 inches. 12 inches makes a larger unit called a foot. So 12 inches equals 1 foot. Let's talk about measuring. So here's my paperclip. Oh, wait a minute. Stop right there. Does anybody notice what I did wrong with my measuring right there? Let me take this away so you guys can see. Yeah, it starts at 1, right? And when measuring an object, you must start at 0 on the ruler. So we got to move that guy over. Whew. All right. So how long is the paperclip? Yeah, this paperclip is 4 inches, right? So I want you to use your ruler to measure your paperclip. Okay, so you're going to pause the video, measure your paperclip. If you don't have a paperclip, just keep watching and I'll put one up on the screen for you. But if you do have a paperclip, I want you to measure that one. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. All right, so here is a paperclip. So how long is the paperclip? So if you don't have one, I want you to look at this one. Yeah, it's 2 inches, right? All right, so now on your paper, use your ruler to draw a line that is 2 inches long. So pause the video, draw a line that is 2 inches long using your new ruler, and then click play when you're ready for the next step. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. Here is my line. Okay, so I drew a 2-inch line. So I want you to lay your paperclip along the line that you drew and think about, what do you notice about those, the line and the paperclip? So pause the video, move your paperclip along the line, and see what you notice. And then click play when you're ready to go over it together. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. So I'm going to move my paperclip up. So they're right next to each other now. And what do you notice about them? Yeah, they're the same length. So how many more inches do we need to add to make a foot? And how do you know? So remember, a foot is how many inches? Yeah, 12 inches. So how many more inches do we need if we have 2? How many more inches do we need to get to a foot? And how do you know? So pause the video, solve that problem, and then click play when you're ready to go over it together. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. So we need 10 more inches. 2 inches plus 10 inches equals 12 inches. And 12 inches equals a foot. All right, so now, friends, I want you to measure the length of your index card. So that's the long side. Measure the long side of your index card. Remember, again, if you don't have an index card, I'll show one for you in the video. But if you do, I want you to pause the video, measure that index card, and then click play when you're ready to go over it together. All right, if you need your index card, here it is for you. You can measure at the same time. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. So how long is the index card? That's 5 inches. So now on your paper, use your ruler to draw a line that is 5 inches long. So pause the video, draw a line that is 5 inches long on your paper, and then click play when you're ready for the next step. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. So here is my line. Now you're going to lay your index card along the line that you drew and see what do you notice again this time. So pause the video, move your index card next to your line, and see what you notice. All right, for my friends who need an index card, there is your index card next to your line. So I want you guys all to see what you notice about the line and the index card. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. Otherwise, here we go. All right, so they're the same length, right? So how many more inches would we need to add to make a foot? And how do you know? So pause the video, solve for how many more inches do we need to make a foot? And then click play when you're ready to go over it together. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. All right, so we know that we have 5 inches. Well, we need 7 more inches because 7 plus 5 inches equals 12 inches. And again, 12 inches equals 1 foot. All right, so let's look at this a little bit differently. So a foot is composed of 12 inches, just as a unit of 10 is composed of 10 what? 10 ones, right? 10 ones make a 10. A unit of 100 is composed of 10 what? Yeah, 10 tens. 10 tens make 100. A dollar is composed of 100 what? Cents. A dollar is composed of 100 cents. How many inches equal 1 foot? 12 inches equals 1 foot. So why is it more efficient to use a ruler than to measure using inch tiles? So I want you to pause the video. I want you to think about that for a minute and then click play when you're ready to go over it together. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. So why is it more efficient to use a ruler than to measure using inch tiles? Well, one of the reasons is you can measure more quickly. Another thing is, on the ruler, the inches stay in the same place because it's all connected together. Like when we use iteration with the tiles, we might accidentally get those mixed up or push one to the side a little bit as we're trying to move one tile at a time. And we might make a mistake when using all inch tiles. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would rather use a ruler to like measure my desk or to measure my chair than inch tiles. It would be so much faster. So you guys are pretty smart coming up with all those ideas. I love it. All right, so friends, here is what your problem set looks like. So if you don't have a copy of that, you can pause the video and look at that through here and solve all of these problems. If you do have a problem set, a hard copy of it, then you can go ahead and take that out and complete that. Okay, so super job, friends, creating your own ruler and measuring objects. Please head back on over to the module to see what you need to complete for your independent practice. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to help. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye, friends!